Geek Tank Radio on 98.1 The Max.
Welcome, everyone. We are the Geek Patrol, and our microphones don't have a stun setting. I'm Joe Thorderson, here with my friends Brandon Olmsted and Allan Gilbreth, and our buddy Max over there behind the glass. Alyssa Diggs is absent. Who knows where she's at? She's a young, 20-something female. She comes and goes as she wants. So, but we wait for no one.
If you would like to send hate mail, you can do that at geektankradio@gmail.com. And make sure to attention Joe Thorderson. I will make sure he gets it.
Yeah, because these kids today, that generation of whatever. But so you guys, we're a week away from the Memphis Comic and Fantasy Convention. I wonder what we will talk about on the show today.
I have no idea.
However, before we get into the shameless plugs and the informational conversation, especially for people that are new to the Memphis Comic and Fantasy Convention, if you are, boy, we really hope we'll see you next week because it's a lot of fun. But, hey, Allan, you have a topic of conversation that you refused to tell us about before the show.
I do.
You're going to hit us with this blind.
I do. I think it is the perfect thing to hit you with blind.
That is a very Joe thing for you to do, Allan.
It is. It is. Because, Brian K. Vaughan over at Saga, right?
Yeah.
All right. Have you seen his latest project?
I have not.
His latest
I'm
project.
preparing for a convention.
The comic book artist, although the Saga's pretty gritty and hardcore, right? So,
yeah, Brian's got his reputation and all of his products. However, he has touched on something that is near and dear to my heart.
Food.
Close. Well, yes, in a way it does, and you are correct. He wants to revive and take a shot at. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm waiting with
Forbidden
bated.
Planet.
No.
I've seen the T-shirts, I've seen the movie posters, I've seen it, but I now that I'm thinking of it, what is Forbidden Planet?
You've
I don't know
never seen Shakespeare's Tempest in Outer Space?
If I have,
Apparently
I don't
not.
remember it. So
Walter Pidgeon and Anne Francis. With Leslie Nielsen as Captain James T. I will be named Kirk later after this movie.
But this wasn't a comedy. This is before.
This was a hardcore, straight up of philosophical sci-fi.
It's hard to believe, but there was a day where Leslie Nielsen was a serious actor.
Leslie Nielsen is...
Oh, yeah.
People didn't think of him that way.
All right, you can take Leslie Nielsen in this movie and wring him out and get a cup of Captain James T. Kirk.
Yeah.
If you want to know where these characters came from, it is this movie.
Mm-hmm.
This movie was also the birth of the first automaton with a personality and the ability to make booze.
Yeah.
Really?
Welcome to Robbie the Robot.
What year are we talking? 60s?
Oh, we are 19. Oh, we're in the 50s for this bad boy.
Oh, so Leslie Nielsen did he still have, his hair wasn't gray yet then?
No, his hair was shockingly white.
Oh, okay. So he's always had light colored hair.
Yeah.
So.
He was always a blonde.
Okay.
So, it's 1956, man. Forbidden Planet was the bomb. As a matter of fact, it was up for an Oscar.
Really?
And it lost to the Ten Commandments.
Back when the
How do you
Academy
beat that?
respected filmmaking and not just, it's a sci-fi or a superhero thing, go away.
No.
They loved everything back then.
It had Walter Pidgeon.
Well, okay.
Let's face it. It had Walter Pidgeon. It had acting.
It did.
It did. So basically, the whole idea of Shakespeare's Tempest is man is his own worst enemy.
Mm-hmm.
And this movie carried that to the nth degree. And it's amusing. It's a little bit scary. And for 1956 effects, it's pretty scary at a few parts.
What planet did they go to?
The Forbidden one.
I know, but is it obviously it's out of our solar system, right?
Yes. This was a crazy scientist and his beautiful daughter, and basically the Federation checks in to see how their money's being spent.
Now, what did the ship look like? Because we're talking pre-Starship Enterprise.
We are
rocket
talking
ships back in the day.
hardcore Buck Rogers.
Okay.
We are talking hardcore, pointy, shiny, sticky-looking. It was the spaceship of the future.
Okay, yeah.
And the hot thing that caught everybody's attention in this movie was a crazed robot on wheels.
Well, because that robot, if I'm correct, didn't it influence the Lost in Space robot?
It did.
Or-
It is
It
the
is.
Lost in
That's what I'm
Space
saying.
robot.
Well, it's not. Robbie did inspire, but he does show up in 2 episodes of Lost in Space.
Interesting.
War of the
Yes.
Robots is the most intensified one because it's him versus the Lost in Space robot.
Yes.
That was an episode back in this, 66?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay. No, Robbie has had so many cameos. I've got a list of them here. He was in 3 different episodes of The Twilight Zone. Of course, he was in Lost in Space. He was in the Banana Splits, where he appeared as a maid named Mildred the robot. He was in an episode of Columbo called Mind Over Mayhem. He was in The Addams Family, Man from U.N.C.L.E., The Love Boat, Mork and Mindy, Wonder Woman. He shows up in Gremlins at the Inventors Convention, where he is talking about, ordering oil.
They get a lot of mileage out of Robbie the robot. So
The most famous robot in
ever.
the world.
yeah.
So the thought that somebody wants to take another shot at this movie, I'm of mixed emotions, but I would definitely go see it.
Wait, is this a movie or I thought you were talking about a graphic novel? Because isn't Saga? I mean, there's no movies for Saga yet, right?
But this is where he's talking that he now has picked up the rights after many years of convoluted who owns the rights to all this. That has apparently been clarified, and he is thinking about reviving Forbidden Planet.
I'd like to see the graphic novel version of that. You can get more in depth with the characters. You can hear their inner thoughts. You're not inhibited by special effects. You can draw whatever you want.
Well, now you see why his name caught my attention, and it wasn't just XYZ Hollywood studio now has the rights to Forbidden Planet, so expect Forbidden Planet, the TV series on XYZ streaming service for the next 5 years.
Yeah, because
this is somebody that's hardcore in the biz.
Yeah.
And could do a variety of products with this particular IP.
Okay, what's his name? Brian
K. Vaughan.
This is Brian K. Vaughan.
Okay. All right, well, Brian K. Vaughan, this is going to be interesting. We're going to be...
I just caught my attention, guys.
All right, well, we'll be following that with great interest. You're listening to Geek Tank Radio. We're going to take a quick break and then do some shameless plugging for the Memphis Comic and Fantasy Convention.
You're listening to Geek Tank Radio on 98.1 The Max. They're not afraid to call him Voldemort. The Geek Patrol is back.
And welcome back to Geek Tank Radio, everybody. I'm Joe Thorderson here with my friends Brandon Olmsted and Allan Gilbreth and our buddy Max over there behind the glass. And I'm assuming Alyssa Diggs will be back with us in the near future.
Who knows?
Who knows? Hey, before the break, we were talking about the fact that Forbidden Planet is being picked up and we're going to be getting a modern, edgy, gritty version of it. I assume I would love to see it in comic book form.
Well, I mean, you think about it, one of the things that Brian K. Vaughan is most well known for is Why the Last Man. And since
I didn't know he did that.
Yeah. Since
this is a serious writer,
since
comic book writer.
He's going to be adapting this script, it's going to be.
He was also on Lost.
Well,
I mean, come on. He did Paper Girls. He did.
Well, it's true.
I mean, he's got some work under his belt, man.
But we're talking about something that, Why the Last Man kind of stepped out of the your typical comic. It was a lot more serious, a lot more hardcore than,
And you didn't predict what was.
other
It went in directions you were like, what?
Yeah.
Well, basically, it was the story of what happens if all the men, except for like a couple, died because of some whatever, and you only had women left on the planet. It was interesting. Let's say it that way. So yeah. But anyway, so there's hey, if you're at the Memphis Comic and Fantasy Convention, this is the kind of conversation you get into.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We're learning one other thing though. Allan is always a font of knowledge that I don't know if it's useless knowledge or if you ever want to get in a trivia contest, sit next to Allan Gilbreth. But you were talking about some of the people from back in the day that we're learning a lot about, like Sid Caesar being a big musclehead and all this other. And
Leslie Nielsen is, and we'll pick on Forbidden Planet. For those of you who have not seen it, if you watch this thing, you will see so many other movies.
Right.
The way the spaceship is laid out, the way the planet is laid out, you will see westerns, you will see sci-fis. You will see dramas.
Right.
Where the characters stand when they're having conversations is so pronounced in Forbidden Planet. You can't, once you've seen this movie, you can't help but see it in, I mean, literally thousands of movies.
Right.
This was a
Set the standard.
keystone, influential piece of work.
Well, what's interesting here is that to transition, how's this? We've seen this a million times. Well, not a million, but we've seen it thousands of times. Talking about the Memphis Comic and Fantasy Convention, we get the old guard that the fans that come every year, and they show up, they're smiling, they're like, I pre-ordered my badges, here we go. But then you get those people that have never been to a convention before, and they're there with their family, and without fail, their faces light up. They're excited. The kids are like, they can't wait to get inside. They can't wait to get their badges and get going. There's a certain happiness and energy at a convention, and especially the Memphis Comic and Fantasy Convention. But it also lends itself to these kind of weird conversations like we're having. Everybody is connected there. That's one of the things I'm most proud of. You show up, and people of all walks of life, all ages, are suddenly there celebrating together. And that's one of the things I'm always the most proud of. So.
And if you want to see a newbie's face, be it child or adult, children of all ages, how about that phrase? Light up. Let them bump into one of their favorite characters in cosplay.
Sure.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. They're the people watching. But Brandon, we always assume that there's new listeners, new people that have never heard of a convention. Well, they've heard of them, but they're like, conventions look odd. Whatever. But the Memphis Comic and Fantasy Convention is coming up November 23rd and 24th. It's a Saturday and Sunday at the University of Memphis Holiday Inn. Tickets are super affordable, but let's map it out for those that are new to the scene. So,
all right. So, first of all, if you've ever been interested or even slightly curious about what goes on at a convention, the MCFC is a good one to start off with, because we don't pigeonhole ourselves into one specific genre.
Right.
And of course, since we keep the tickets affordable, you're not going to come in and feel like you wasted your time or wasted your money. You're going to come in, you're going to see cosplayers. Do not be nervous. It is okay to speak to the cosplayers.
They want you to.
They want you to. They want. They do this not just out of the love of the art, but they like to be recognized for what they've done. So you definitely want to come in and check out all the cosplay contest stuff, which that will be at 5 p.m. on Saturday.
Right. Well, it goes on all weekend because people are there in costume.
The costume contest itself, because that's when you get to see people really shine and be in full character.
Right.
Now, we also have amazing panels and workshops that we don't do like your typical convention does. I actually had someone ask me, it's like, well, are there any things that I could actually, maybe sit in on? It's like any panels you want me to, be on? And it's like, we don't do it the same way, because our panels from the get-go become kind of like a town hall discussion.
We want interaction.
We want to make sure that you aren't just there to observe, that you get to ask your questions, and we don't really sit there and lecture at you, which, a lot of people seem to think that that's how panels work. That's not how they work at all. And I've seen this question a few times also as well. We do have gaming. We don't have scheduled RPGs or Magic tournaments or anything like that, but we have a board game library that is open to the public. You go in, you check out a game, you and your friends can organize anything you want to do in there. But we also have video games, and sometimes there's like Smash Brother tournaments, stuff like that. And the video gaming and the board gaming are, it's a great way to enjoy yourself at the con between things like, A.G. Howard's, special effects makeup workshop. A.G. is one of the nicest guys in the entire world, and he will teach you pretty much anything you want to learn about as far as putting, prosthetics on, the type of makeup. He'll also be doing our preparations for our Piranha Room this year.
Yes.
We'll get into more of the Piranha Room when we have a little bit more time in the next segment. But one of the greatest things that you'll learn is you can go and learn about Viking weaponry from the SCA and the guys from ShadowCon, and then turn around and make a vambrace, leather, arm strap, and then turn around and get to know how it is that a lot of neurodivergent people, come to love these conventions, because we accept everybody and fandom is a great place for them to find their place in the world as well.
Well, let's face it. Sometimes like I said, you get people of all walks of life, and sometimes those people, young people or whatever that feel like they don't fit in anywhere, they fit in with us.
Absolutely.
And it's a lot of fun to celebrate together. We're going to talk about it more when we come back here on Geek Tank Radio.
You're listening to Geek Tank Radio on 98.1 The Max. The Geek Patrol is back.
And Harry Potter and all his wizard friends went straight to hell for practicing witchcraft.
Okay. And welcome back to
And we
Geek
broke Joe.
Tank Radio, everybody. I'm Joe Thorderson here with my friends Brandon Olmsted and Allan Gilbreth and the wily Max over there behind the glass. Good job, man. Alyssa will be back when she gets back. If you're just tuning, well, we don't know. I don't know. She moves in mysterious ways. Hey, we're a week away from the Memphis Comic and Fantasy Convention. We're here to educate. I do want to say one thing that I think needs clarification because sometimes we know the difference. There is a distinction between a convention and an expo. They all have their own dynamics, but we want to clarify a expo is something that generally runs, typical hours for an expo are something like 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. It's in usually one area. There's booths. There's probably celebrity guests. And it's generally something that it's just open and you come. And you can usually see it in about a day. A convention is all immersive. This is in a hotel, for one thing, so it's super comfortable. It's a nice environment. And the first thing you want to do at a convention is check the schedule because there is activities from morning till night, and you have to plan it out so you don't miss anything.
It's true. And what I have done this year, much to Joe's chagrin because it meant he had to print them and put the laminate them all and everything, is I put a QR code on your badge so you can always have the schedule handy by scanning your own badge.
Right.
I'm hoping those QR codes work, Joe.
Well, if not, we have them all over
They're
the convention. But you can look it up right now. Go to memphiscfc.com. You'll find, the menu's very easy to navigate. You'll find our schedule. It's a PDF. You can download it or just, copy. And one thing, if you're new to conventions, occasionally panels may change time at the last minute. Sometimes there's little changes. We try not to do that, but occasionally it happens. So.
Always make sure that you check the schedule on the day of your event. Whatever the event you're going, that you specifically are like, I can't miss this panel, I can't miss this workshop, I can't miss this event. Make sure to check the schedule because if something changed, the last thing you want to do is show up an hour late.
And so if you're coming, especially if you're coming with your family, although it's funny because one of the things that's a real staple for the young people, but it's also the older folks, is the Lego activities we have there. We have a lot of Lego competitions. Our favorite thing is the Lego Derby, where you build cars and you race them, just like the old Pinewood Derbies and the Cub Scouts. And it's funny, you'll have adults competing against kids, and the kids almost always win. I don't know why. But we also want you to know that we have a great celebrity guest, Brandon Potter, who is he's a very prominent anime voice actor. He's also a very prominent video game voice actor. But what a lot of people know him from is he's one of the main characters on The Chosen, which is a world famous. I mean, this is one of the biggest streaming phenomenons really ever. It's a really well-made show, and he plays Quintus, and he's a really great he's a lovable villain. Like anytime he's on camera, you love seeing him, and Brandon's going to be there. You can meet him. You can go to his Q&A and ask him questions. You can get his autograph. You can take pictures with him. It's neat. You don't get that every day, meeting somebody that you see on TV or in the movies, and they're right there, and you get to talk to them. It's pretty cool. So, well, that's new for some people. They're not used to that. And one thing about our convention is this is a little different. We've seen these mega conventions where there's 500 people in line, and you say, hello, how you doing? Thanks for the autograph. See you later. We have a little more time to interact with the celebrities,
which is always fun. And it's not just about just the big celebrity. You'll also get a chance to see a handful of our local artists and vendors, and we've got Matt Bowers, who is creator of the comic Memphis.
Yeah.
We've got Sean Howe, who is a prolific local artist. He always puts out amazing stuff. He wants to work on doing a version of our mascot, AD.
Yeah.
And, he was actually asking me the other day, he's like, what do I need to do that? I was like, I will give you a picture and you can go from there.
John Martin, another great artist that we've got. Chris Jowers.
Yeah, Chris Jowers, which we love Chris.
His art is a little more obnoxious. No,
his art is amazing. He makes these great walking sticks. But if
he's a voice actor, though,
he is a voice actor, and he can get you rolling with how well he annoys Joe.
Yeah, he likes to stay in character and stuff. But the thing is, the environment is just cool. And like we said, if you're new to it, and let's suppose maybe you're not even sure if you're into this, if you just want an incredible shopping experience, you cannot beat it. You're going to meet comic book artists. You're going to meet craftspeople that you could custom order something. You could commission
art,
a piece or something, and it's one of a kind. Or you find those rare collectibles that you can't find, without hunting through eBay or something. They're all right there, usually very reasonably priced. Or that we even have our buddy Weasel from Daycare Kids Toys and Antiquities. He's the guy that will have that $20,000 Batman comic book,
and yet you won't have to spend that much on it.
And Sunday, Saturday is always our biggest day, but there's a lot to do on Sunday as well, including Let's Make a Deal. This is going to be the last time, as far as we know, that we'll be doing this. Because,
according to the last time I spoke with Weasel, this will be the final edition of Let's Make a Deal Daycare Style. Of course, we lost the amazing Mr. Robert earlier this year.
Right.
And this will be a tribute to him.
And so these are serious prizes that you win. Like, this is the Let's Make a Deal. It's a geek version of that. And don't miss that, folks. It's on Sunday at noon.
At noon.
There's a lot going on. We encourage you to go to the website, memphiscfc.com. Check the schedule. Look at all the activities we've got going on there, and get your tickets. It's always nice to get your tickets in advance. They're very affordable. I'm just telling you. We do this on purpose. And if you're a University of Memphis student, you get 25% off if you order tickets at the door if you just show us your student ID.
Yep.
There's really no reason not to come. It's right there on the campus. It's the Holiday Inn at the University of Memphis on Central and I think Patterson, whatever that corner is. But it's right there, very convenient, very safe. We always have free parking, everything, and it's just a lot of fun. I really hope everybody's going to show up. We'll have a few more parting thoughts coming up about the Memphis Comic and Fantasy Convention when we come back.
You're listening to Geek Tank Radio on 98.1 The Max. The Geek Patrol is back.
And welcome back to Geek Tank Radio, everybody. I'm Joe Thorderson here with my friends Brandon Olmstead and Allan Gilbreth, and our buddy Max over there behind the glass, and Alyssa Diggs will be joining us the next time, I guess. We're a week away from the Memphis Comic and Fantasy Convention, and in addition to just putting shameless plugs out there, we're also doing our public service because there are a lot of people out there. I know we're looking right at you. We know that you've heard of conventions. We know you've seen things on TV, or maybe you've heard of Comic-Con or something, and you're like, I don't want to go to that. I'm telling you, folks, you want to come. It is one of the funnest events of the year, and it's also one of the best entertainment values of the year. I was adding it up, Brandon. If you buy a weekend pass,
right,
and you show up for Saturday and Sunday and you stay a good majority of the day, you're spending about 80 cents an hour to enjoy all the activities that we've got. Maybe it's $1.20. It's somewhere, it's negligible. And you're getting all-inclusive activities. You get to go to any of the panels. We have these great workshops. You could make things. We have these leather-making workshops. We have makeup workshop. We have really just fun conversations, great photo opportunities, great shopping, lots of camaraderie. These are the nicest people you're ever going to meet, folks, of all walks of life, getting together. And that's one of the things I'm most proud of. That's what the world should be. We should all be coming together and enjoying what unites us, not what divides us.
Right. And we've got a couple of interesting new additions this year. Like we've got what is being referred to as the K-pop Random Dance Challenge.
Oh, yeah.
That's going to be taking place in our main ballroom at 3 o'clock on Saturday, where they're going to be playing clips of K-pop songs, and they're challenging you to get out on the dance floor with everybody only if you know the song.
Right.
I don't know what you do if you're in mid dance when they switch over to a new clip or what. I don't know if you're supposed to freeze. I'm curious enough that I'm going to go in there and at least check it out.
Well, those anime kids have a lot of energy.
Dude,
those
they
K-pop.
really do.
We love having the anime crowd there.
I will be honest with you. If the Matrix world ever comes to be, the people in those pods are going to be K-pop fans.
Yeah, they got more energy than anybody.
It's true.
A couple more. We're very proud to welcome a new fan club coming to the Memphis Comic and Fantasy Convention, the Beale Street Monster Club.
Dude,
we met these guys a few months ago, and good guys. The young man, Michael, I think that runs it.
Right.
He okay. I'm looking at this post that he made, Brandon. Very well promoted. This is what we want from our panelists. He's promoting it. He's put some production behind this, and this kid knows more about the monster genre than anybody I've ever met. And he's only like 23 years old or something.
And he focuses on your old school Universal monsters up through your kaiju. The kid knows I want to call him a kid because he's so much younger than I am.
Right.
But he is an adult and he knows his stuff.
Yeah.
If you could sit down and talk to him, his panels are definitely a must see.
We have the Memphis Star Trek fan club coming in. We got the Mid-South Makers coming in. We have a lot of panelists. A.G. Howard, as you mentioned. Yeah. We have a lot of leather. Yeah. We have leather working workshops. You pay a very small fee, and you're going to make something out of leather that you get to keep.
We have, yes. We also have a gathering of furries, which, if you've ever questioned the furry fandom. If you've ever wondered, if you've ever been curious, there is a furry meetup set up on Saturday, and they are inviting those who would like to come and ask what's going on to come and check it out.
Check out their $5,000 costumes that they make. I mean, these are serious cosplayers. So.
They are amazing people. I know there's a stigma with a lot of society, but dude, they're great and they love their fandom and. I don't see them any different than like Rennie's or your typical cosplayer or those people who still think they might really be zombies.
Well, in addition to all the shopping experience, which don't underestimate that, folks, it's a great experience. All the free photo ops you get with these cosplayers, meeting our celebrity guest Brandon Potter from the Chosen. Going to video game tournaments and board gaming tournaments and all of the Lego activities and all of that. There's some pretty premier events, too, that we're really proud of. The cosplay contest. Opera Memphis is going to be in the main ballroom doing something. And we don't know what, but they always put on a good production. Opera Memphis, people might be surprised that we partner with the opera. Well, there's way more geeks in the opera than you would imagine, folks.
We like to be cultured.
But one of my favorite events, and it's something that sets us apart. No other convention I've even seen does this. We recreate the Piranha Room. The Piranha Room is a famous Gothic dance club from San Diego back in the 80s and 90s that I just happened to work at. But I always took the night off so I could go to it. And it's really fun.
Slacker.
We recreate it. I discovered that music back in the late 80s. Goth music, believe it or not, folks, is some of the funnest music to dance to. You wouldn't think it's fun, but it is.
It's absolutely fun.
It's high energy, and it's amazing how much young people like goth music. So we play high energy dance music. We darken the room. We put black lights up, and also we have artists around the room creating art. It's the coolest vibe ever. It's really fun, and it's free. It's part of your entry fee.
Entry fee.
If you want to just show up at the Piranha Room, it's $5. But don't do that. Just get your ticket. And
if you literally only have time to come for the Piranha Room, we will be selling tickets to the Piranha Room itself.
But it's really cool. It's just such a fun weekend. And folks, if you're on the fence, just come out. Bring your family. I guarantee you're going to smile the minute you step through that door into the exhibitor area. It's high energy, it's fun, and this is what the world needs. We need to come together and celebrate, especially now more than ever. Yeah. So get your tickets. You can go to Memphis CFC and look at all the activities we have going there. Go to the tickets page. Or if you just can't wait and you want to go directly, go to 901tix.com. That's 901 tix.com. Well, I will say, you guys, plans are, knock on wood, plans are going great. Everything's ready to go for the Memphis Comic and Fantasy Convention.
He just
next
messed
week.
things up.
I probably jinxed it. There'll be a blizzard and who knows what. But come on out and say hello. Even Allan's going to be set up with Dark Oak Media there. He'll be giving away things.
What's Dark Oak Media, Allan?
So
why do y'all keep trying to spend my money?
Okay, but it's going to be a lot of fun. We're excited, and we hope we're going to see you there next week. But it's time to get out of here, you guys. So until next week, we are the Geek Patrol, and I am Joe Thorderson.
I'm Allan Gilbreth.
I'm Maximilian.
And I am Brandon Olmstead, waiting to see your amazing cosplays at MCFC this year.